Well, it's been a while since I've done one of these, so you're in luck today. I told you we were getting the house remodelled. I don't know if you can see this. Maybe, sort of. Yeah, not bad, I suppose. But the kitchen we're going for is either this, which is called Keswick, which is oak, and that's completely oak, or this one called Shire's oak. You can see the units there. I guess it depends on which is the lightest. Oh dear. I realised while I've been sorting all this out, and realising how the two of the bedrooms upstairs have still got children's wallpaper on it. And we bought this house 13 years ago. And I know why. It's because it was my 34th home then. And I guess I've never stopped thinking of it as temporary. And of course it's not. This is where I shall die. And this is where John shall die. We're not going to be moving anywhere else. And anyway, so that sort of has figured, I just figured that out, why everything is up in the air the way it is here. Do you know, some stuff is still not even unpacked. That's how it's been. Well, today hasn't been brilliant. I've been, well, I guess basically since last evening, not in agonising pain. I mean, I sometimes think that that's what people think I'm talking about, and I'm not. I don't often get acute pain. Sometimes I do, and it makes me yell because it's sudden and I go, ah, fuck, or something like that. Probably quite a bit worse than that. See, look, I've set myself off laughing now, which I suppose is better than the way I've been feeling most of the day. But yes, sometimes when I go to move, or if I'm laying down in bed and I don't know what happens, but something explodes, that's what it feels like, either my knee or my hip or whatever, and it suddenly gets very hot and makes a loud pop, and it's quite horrible. And that happens regardless of how much painkiller I've had. No, the pain I'm talking about is just this bloody constant background pain, which has just been a bit more to the fore today. Mainly around my middle region, and it just makes me want to rip all my clothes off, because even the clothes against my skin bothers me. I get the most peculiar symptoms. I nearly had a car accident yesterday because I thought I'd wet myself because my legs suddenly felt wet. Now this is a fairly common symptom, but it still makes me look, and I looked, and in that split second that I looked, I almost hit a parked car. Fortunately I looked up just before I was about to hit it, and this knob that I've got on the steering wheel is really good because I turned it very quickly, much quicker than without a knob, and I avoided hitting it. Oh, but I came really close. But there has to be a point to this. I don't want to sit here and just sort of moan about my symptoms. But I did hear a good quote today, or saw a good quote, which says, don't worry about tomorrow because you did that yesterday. I think that's very clever. That's a good one. And most of the time I do manage to live within the day. I am finding this situation rather stressful, because everything's up in the air. You know, I keep looking at that window there. Can you see? Yes, oops. I'm sure you can. There. Well, that's going to disappear. That whole wall is going to disappear. And there's not going to be a window there. There's going to be another room there. And, oh dear, I haven't done that right. Anyway, so there's that. And then there's the bathroom upstairs is going to be changed into a shower room. The front door's going to be changed into a double glazed front door. I've chosen a red front door. It'll still have white surrounds and it'll be white inside, but the door itself will be red. Just in case I want to open up a brothel. You know, easy to find. And, the kitchen's going to be done. One of the bedrooms upstairs is having its window changed, because for some reason that was the only window that wasn't double glazed. And the bathroom's having its window changed too. And the plumber's coming around tonight to check my water pressure, because we're going to change to a pressure controlled, mains controlled hot water system. Because the kitchen is going to have a sink in it big enough to do the dogs in. Bath the dogs in. I don't mean prepare them for dinner. To bath the dogs in, and of course I need good hot water pressure. Otherwise there's just no point. But it basically is dangerous for me to lift dogs and walk upstairs with them. It's bad enough for me to get upstairs, let alone carrying a dog. So far I've managed it, but you know, if I fell, well, the dog's either going to go flying, which is not good for the dog, or I'm going to squish it by landing on it, which of course is not good for the dog either. I suppose it stands a better chance flying. But anyway, do you know, I think I ought to say something profound and teach the world to sing. Like that old ad used to say. Oh, but bollocks, I've got nothing much to say today really, except prattle on about the house and my posh problems. But I guess I'm looking forward to it, and I have to say that I'm looking forward to our week away in Frankfurt, which we go the day after our wedding. That I'm nervous about. I'm really surprised that I'm nervous about it, but I am. I'm really nervous about it. I can't really picture it. It's not something I ever expected to happen in my life. And strangely enough, a medium said to me back in the 80s that I would marry, but only once. And not yet. And, well, I just took absolutely no notice, because I thought she was totally bonkers. I thought, you know, don't you realise, woman? But perhaps not. Particularly as other things she said were totally true. Of course, according to some people, that's all in our imagination. But, you know, when people describe very clearly how one's mother died and the country from which they came, which they have absolutely no reason to think that I have a foreign mother just by looking at me. And certainly they would never have picked the tiny little country that she came from. But anyway, that's sort of waffling on, off the point. I don't know what the point is today. But I am getting on with my sweater. I just thought I'd show you. This is the back. I decided not to have the cable panel in the middle. One, because it was very difficult to do. It hurt my hands. And you're not going to see it. So why bother? I'm going to have side panels which will be cabled, and there will be cabling up the sleeves. And this is in, as you can see, a rather thin 265 metres to the yard. Metres to the ball. My medication might not be doing much for my hips, but it's done enough for my brain today. The one thing that is problematic is that the wall that is now going to become an inside wall has the TV aerial and the satellite dish on it. Well, fortunately, neither of them are low enough to bother the new roof, but the cabling from it comes down the outside wall, in here and along the lounge and into the satellite over there, you know, the box. Well, all of that's got to come out, because the TV is going to be on this wall behind me, but over that way in the new room. And so's the hi-fi and everything, and there's all this cabling, and there's 6 speakers, and we're getting 2 more to make 8. But they'll be floor standers, because we'll need floor standers to listen to music, because it's a big room, 4 meters by 7, and it just, you know, that sort of thing's on my mind. How the hell's that going to be done? Particularly if they're going to plaster the walls. And I've been told, well, there is a way of hiding the cables through the plastering, but we can't really do that because we're not certain where everything's going to go. And I don't want ugly cables in the new extension. Do you see what I mean? I just don't know how all that's going to get done. But I'll be pleased when it is. Now, we aren't going away when the extension's being built, because that's not going to affect me in here. The dogs are going away. But when the kitchen's done, I have to go away, because I just can't stay here. And then when the painting and decorating and the carpets are being laid, of course I can't be here, nor can John. So I guess we'll be going away a fair bit this year. We've booked to go away for the double show in August. Oh, bugger. Sorry, I'm trying to move my feet and I just knocked the tripod. Which has changed the lighting again, hasn't it? But there we are. Well, I'm sorry to say this has been rather boring, but I guess I'll publish it, because this is just ordinary me. And well, that's all. Okay, have a good day.